Yo, what is going on, guys? Jaeky here. Today in this video, I'm really excited to check out these two products because I've been trying to get my hands on these for a while now, and I finally got two sent out by LAMZU. So shout out to LAMZU for sending these out for a review. These are obviously the LAMZU Atlantis and the LAMZU Atlantis Mini. These are both the 4K versions, and this is the version 2. So in the video today, this is going to be just an overview of these two mice. I'm going to be unboxing and giving my initial impressions of both these mice, but I will use both of these mice for at least a week because that's what I do with all of my products. Is I do the 1 week rule where I use it consistently for a week before I give my in-depth review. And so just keep an eye out because I will be doing an in-depth review on both these mice, but in today's video it's just going to be a brief overview. Most of you have probably heard of the LAMZU Atlantis. They've become pretty popular. This is actually Tenz's main mouse right now. So let's go over the specs real quick and the pricing as well. You're going to find all of the LAMZU Atlantis mice ranging from $90 to $100. If you get the non-4K version, it's going to be $90 USD. But if you go up to the 4K version, it's going to be $10 more. And that's where you're just getting the extra 4K dongle for $99 USD. So in terms of pricing, the LAMZU Atlantis is actually priced really well. $90 to $100 is a really good price range for a lightweight wireless mouse with high polling rate. That's actually very good compared to something like the G Pro Superlight V2 right here, which is priced at $150 USD, is just a lot of money for a mouse. But around the $100 range is pretty much where I'd expect like a high performing wireless mouse to be priced. Moving on to the sensor, it is a Pixar 3395, around 57 grams, so it is lighter than the G Pro Superlight V2. G Pro Superlight V2, I believe, is 60 grams. I just had to look that up. 60 grams on the G Pro 2, and the LAMZU Atlantis is 57 grams, which is 3 grams lighter. And for the LAMZU Atlantis Mini, it's going to weigh 49 grams, so the sub 50 gram mark. Both of these do, of course, support 4K polling rate with the dongle, and they're both using the Nordic 52840 MCU. And in terms of overall performance, I've only heard good things about the LAMZU Atlantis, so I'm super excited to try both of these mice out. The most important thing, obviously, is going to be shape. The LAMZU Atlantis is tailored for a claw grip. For reference, my hands are 19 centimeters by 9 centimeters. And so I'm going to be trying out both these mice right now, and we're going to be giving initial overview, and I'm going to tell you which one feels more comfortable in my hand. Obviously, the Atlantis Mini is just a smaller version of the LAMZU Atlantis. Also, both of these are using Huano switches. So let's start with the original LAMZU Atlantis, and then we'll move on to unboxing the Mini. The unboxing experience on the LAMZU Atlantis is absolutely crazy. Probably one of the best mouse unboxing experiences I've had so far. Slides out like that, and then it flips open. Just look at that packaging. Super clean. You get a little thank you note from the company, and then it flips open just like this to reveal the mouse itself. You can see here that mine is black. The coating on it feels very chalky, very grippy. I have semi-moist hands most of the time when I play. This coating so far feels really good. Wow, the clicks on this feel insane as well. Super snappy clicks. The side buttons are a huge breath of fresh air compared to the G Pro Superlight 2. If you know me, you know that I hate the side clicks on the G Pro Superlight. They're very mushy. The LAMZU side buttons are super snappy. You pretty much have no pre-travel, very little post-travel, very snappy side buttons, and super clicky as well. As you can hear, super tactile. Scroll wheel is very nice as well, tighter than the G Pro Superlight with defined steps that you can feel. Mouse wheel feels pretty good. The mouse 3 is harder to push down than my G Pro Superlight, but still feels very nice. Okay, anyways, let's put this off to the side and unbox the rest. In here we also get the 4K dongle because this is the 4K version of the LAMZU Atlantis. This is what it looks like right here. Obviously, you're going to have USB-C for the LAMZU Atlantis. In this bag here, we get some grip tape for the mouse, which I have heard very good things about. This is apparently really good grip tape, but I'm not going to be personally using it. And then we also get some extra skates as well. You can see that out of the box, you get these smaller skates here, and you have the option to replace it with these bigger skates if you would like. I'm just going to keep the stock skates on for now. But yeah, this is what the bottom of the mouse looks like right here. And inside of the bag, you get your braided USB-C cable. as well as just a quick start guide for the mouse. So from what I've seen around the LAMZU Atlantis, the quality control is very good. Not a lot of people have quality control issues. I, so far, am not sensing any quality control issues on the mouse. There's very little side play on the mouse 1 and mouse 2. When I shake the mouse, there's absolutely no rattle whatsoever. Also, if I push down on the sides of the mouse, there's no flex at all. So build quality so far seems very solid. If you guys want a quick shape comparison here, this is what it looks like side by side next to my G Pro Superlight. They're around the same size, both medium mice I would consider, but obviously the shapes are very different. You have more curvature on the Atlantis, and as well the humps are much different as well. So let me show you guys that. You can see the hump on the Atlantis is more raised towards the back, and the front as well is flatter. So this is pretty much tailored more towards claw grip. And I can immediately say, I mean, it's not really hard to beat the G Pro Superlight shape for me. I like the G Pro Superlight shape. It's a very safe shape, like I said in my G Pro Superlight review, but this LAMZU Atlantis shape is definitely more tailored towards me and it feels more comfortable. Alright guys, so I just finished pairing the mouse to my computer and updating all of the firmware and drivers, and I gotta say it was a little bit confusing at first, especially because I had to manually pair it with a dongle. I'm assuming that's just because it's the 4K dongle and it doesn't come automatically paired. So I'll actually walk you guys through how to do that with the Mini, because it can be a little bit confusing for somebody who has never done this before. But first, obviously, we just have to unbox the Mini. I have everything connected on the regular Atlantis. I have 4K setup, and yeah, I'll talk about that later. But for now, let's get the Mini open. You get the same accessories, by the way. Oh, I actually didn't even notice this. You actually get dot skates as well as the big skates. So if you like using dot skates, you have those as well. That's pretty nice, actually. One more thing that I didn't notice until I was plugging in the regular Atlantis is that the USB connection, as you can see, is actually angled. So this is for if you're playing it in wired mode. It's angled up so that there's not as much drag on your mouse pad. So that's actually a really, really cool like quality of life thing that not a lot of mouse manufacturers do, but it's actually very nice seeing that out of LAMZU. So they have a little bend here so that if you have to use it wired mode because you're charging it, let's say, it doesn't interfere as much with cable drag. Okay, so here are the two mice side by side. As you can see, the Mini is just slightly smaller than the regular. There you go. There's the size comparison right there for you. And in the hand, wow, in the hand it does feel considerably smaller. With the Mini, if I claw grip it, if I do a relaxed claw, my fingers can almost go over the edge of the mouse. As you can see, it reaches pretty much like the very edge. You can see here, very small in the hand. And then here's the regular. If I do a relaxed claw, my fingers are still a little bit far back from the edge of the mouse. If I do an aggressive claw, obviously that doesn't matter for either mouse. Aggressive claw works fine. But yeah, the Mini does feel substantially smaller in the hand. Can't tell right now which one I like more, but they both feel very, very good. The coating especially, the one thing I wanted to touch on is the coating. The G Pro Superlight 2 has good coating, but the LAMZU has insane coating. This feels so nice, especially if you have like semi-moist hands like I do. I don't know how this would feel on dry hands. For like semi-moist hands, my grip on this right now is absolutely insane. I love the grip on the LAMZU. Okay, now let's get this the Mini plugged in, and I will walk you guys through on the software and how to update the firmware and everything. Okay, so obviously first things first, we're going to go over to the LAMZU website, and then we're going to go to the download page, and you're going to see a lot of different things you can click. So it depends what model of the mouse you have. Like if you have the original Atlantis, you're going to go here or here, and then this is for the Mini. And then if you have like either a Maya or Atlantis 4K or a Atlantis Pro or an Atlantis Thorn, you're gonna use these two. So these two are actually different. One is for the driver, one is for the firmware. So you're gonna want to click on both. Let's open these in new tabs here. So you're gonna want to open up both. What was the first one I opened? The driver. So you're gonna open up the driver, and then you're gonna see even more downloads. So it's a little bit confusing. If LAMZU, if you're watching this, maybe simplify this a little bit and just put the latest one. So these ones are the old ones, right? which makes sense, but you should maybe make it so that just put the main one here and then you can put the old ones like somewhere else where it's obvious. But basically we're just going to go for the newest one, which is actually the one on the very bottom right here, November 14th 2023. And so now we're going to click download on this, and it's going to download a zip file. Now we're going to move on to the firmware. So you're going to click on here, and then obviously we have an Atlantis, and so we're going to download the Atlantis tool, which is right here. So you're going to have 2 downloads total, 2 zip files, and you're going to need an unzipping software like 7-zip or WinRAR, and you're just going to extract both of these to their own little folders. So I have them extracted right here. And so one folder is going to look like this with these 4 tools. The other one is just going to be the setup for the actual software. So we're going to start with the tools. Also keep in mind, I think this is only for if you're buying a separate 4K dongle that you have to do all of this. If you have the original dongle, like the 1K hertz dongle that comes with the mouse, it should be automatically paired for you. And all you have to do is download the driver, or not the driver, the software, which is this right here. But if you have a separate 4K dongle like I do, you're going to have to do these steps here. So with the mouse plugged in wired mode, you're going to plug it in into your computer wired. What you're going to do is now you're going to launch, first up, we're going to launch the mouse update. And so you can see here, this is the mouse upgrade tool, and we're just going to click on upgrade. There you go. Once it hits 100%, it's going to say success, hopefully, and then you close it out. Now your mouse is updated. Now what we're going to do is we are going to unplug it, and we're going to plug in our 4K dongle here. Once that's plugged in, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the 4K receiver. We're going to click upgrade on that, and hopefully again it should say success. Now we can close out of it. And then so from here, the mouse wasn't working for me. Oh, but for the mini it is. Okay, so for the original Atlantis, I actually had to do the mouse pair tool. So I actually had to click on this, and then I had to click pair. And I also had to turn on pairing mode for the mouse. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do that in case you have to do it. But for the mini, it seems like it's already paired to the dongle out of the box, which is nice. I don't know why it wasn't like that for my regular one, like the regular Atlantis. But anyways, what you're gonna do if it's not paired to the dongle, and if it only works in wired mode and the dongle is not working, this is how you pair it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold down, you're gonna turn it on first, obviously, and then next you're gonna hold down left click and right click and mouse 3 at the same time, and the LED here should start flashing yellow. Once it starts flashing yellow, you click pair on the mouse pair tool. So I'm gonna do it right now. Hold it down until it starts flashing yellow, just like that. It's flashing. Now we click pair on the pair tool, and it already paired here. It says paired success, so it did it automatically. But yeah, you just click pair here, and then you also turn on pairing mode on your mouse, and it should pair. I clicked it again, so it's like trying to pair again. So I might as well just, there we go. You can see it'll say pair success, and you should now be able to move it around. So next up, once you have all of the firmware updated, what you're going to do is you're going to install the software. I already have it downloaded, so let's open it up so I can show you guys what the software looks like. So this right here is what the software looks like, Atlantis Mini. If it's grayed out, that means you have to pair it with a dongle. My regular Atlantis was grayed out, so I had to pair it. This one seems like it's already paired. So we're gonna click on it, and this is what everything looks like. If we go over to the settings here, you can actually also update the firmware here. And if you click these, it'll tell you if it's up to date or not. And yeah, so we're chilling on that. It seems like I need to charge it. It's at 42%. We're gonna go back to the home page here, and the things I change on the LAMZU is the debounce time. First of all, I change this to 2 milliseconds. And then I go over to the DPI. I set it to 1 stage because I only use 1 DPI, which is 800. And then I change the polling rate to 4K. Liftoff distance, 1 millimeter. Peak performance, I leave this checked. And this I leave default 30 seconds. Motion sync, I turn this off, and you also want to turn everything else off as well. Definitely don't use angle snapping, especially if you play like FPS games. Angle snapping is really bad, so make sure you turn that off. Motion sync is sort of personal preference, but I prefer to have it off on most of my mice that support it. And then this is macros, which I'm not going to play around with, but that's pretty much all I change on the mouse. So this is these are the settings that I have on the Mini and on the regular Atlantis. And then obviously after that, we can close out of the software. Alright guys, so now that I have both these mice set up, you can see, I'm going to put on the screen right now, a comparison of the three shapes between the Superlight, the regular Atlantis, and the Atlantis Mini. This is pretty much what you're going to be looking at in terms of shape. So I'm pretty much just going to have these two mice on my desk, and I'm going to be rotating between the two and pretty much deciding which one I like more. So yeah, both these mice so far seem very solid. There's no rattle on my Mini whatsoever. And the side play, pretty much the same as the regular Atlantis. That is to say, there is barely any and not really any problems in terms of quality control whatsoever. So both are very solid mice. There's no flex either when I press on the sides. And in terms of the shape, which one I prefer more, so far it's really hard to say. I'm going to have to put a lot of time in with both these mice, so that's going to come in the in-depth review. But just straight out of the box, I think I do prefer the regular LAMZU Atlantis more, just because I've never been a fan of small mice, and the Mini seems a little bit too small for my hands to where like my fingertips almost go over the edge. So I feel like if I used the Mini for a long time, I feel like my hands would almost cramp up. So far, currently, I like the regular Atlantis more, but that might change with a little bit of gameplay, so we're really just going to have to wait and see. As for the skates, let's talk about the skates really quick. The skates are flawless. There's really nothing to complain about. I'm right now currently on a Vaxi PA, and both the skates on the regular and the Mini are very, very smooth. I would say they're very comparable to my Tiger ice skates that I currently have on my G Pro Superlight. They actually feel very, very nice for stock skates. Definitely don't see a need to swap these out whatsoever. I think the stock skates on the LAMZU mice are really, really good. They feel great. There's no scratchiness whatsoever. And yeah, it's just solid stock skates. Nothing wrong with them, no complaints. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That was my unboxing and initial impressions of the Atlantis and the Atlantis Mini. Again, shout out to LAMZU for sending these out, and keep an eye out for my full-length review, which should be coming out in around a week or two. I'll be doing in-depth full reviews of both these mice separately, and I'll also decide on which one I like more in those videos. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope this helps you out. If it did, make sure you leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.